Test, test. Is that loud enough on the south side? Test, test. You can't open. Juniors, this is your 5-minute warning. We're going to get the show going here at 1:30. gentlemen, it is 1:30 and I run on time. So I'd like to welcome all those to the 100K Jackpot show here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan at the CJLA Impact Show. Today I'd like to welcome Garner Diebold as our judge for today, our ringmen Kyle Payne and Naomi Best. So here, we're excited again to offer the 100K Jackpot show here. This is our third year running this show. Classes are open to both heifer calves and yearling females, and we'll start off the day with heifer calves. There is 2 splits of heifer calves and 4 splits of yearling heifers today. So all entries must have DNA tests, 3K, 30K or 100K completed through the CLA and Neogen, and samples were submitted here this spring. Each junior is permitted 1 entry in each of the heifer calf division and the yearling division, and then the placings in the jackpot divisions will not count towards any aggregate points. Classes will be judged on EPDs prior to the showing of the animals, which were done by Joe Epperly, and then we have a 50% score on our confirmation, in which Garner Diebold will do here this afternoon. We're ready to start the class here with exhibitor 142, Abby Staples with BLCC N710 Duchess. Second in the ring is show entry number 140, Laura Seward with Amaglen Nelly Joe. Entry 3 is 139, Madison Robertson with EMF HR Naomi 503N. And entry 110, Haley Debenham with EMF Nevada 505N. And lastly, here's Sawyer Bellinger with BLCC N44 Burning Heart. Your class is now complete. So these females here, this is just a straight blow and go show. Exhibitors just put the show halters on and a few comb strokes and they're ready to go. So this heifer calf split ranges birth date from January 1st, 2025 to January 11th, 2025. So like I said, our confirmation judge today is Garner Diebold. Garner has a background rooting in ranching, bovine genetics, and animal health pharmaceuticals. Him and his family are 4th and 5th generation ranchers in Hodgeville/Shamrock area in southwestern Saskatchewan, raising both seed stock, commercial cattle, and quarter horses. Garner is the Bovagen Genetic Services Marketing Manager, and prior to his role at Bovagen, he spent time with Boehringer, I'm not going to try that word, Animal Health, as a bovine and equine territory manager. Garner and his family have their own genetic export company promoting Canadian genetics and live cattle, semen, and embryos globally. Hawkeye Landing and Livestock has provided management and production consulting services in many countries. Garner Garner has been active with many industry organizations, and currently Garner sits on the Canadian Cattle Association Board of Directors and is the immediate past president of the Saskatchewan Stock Growers Association. Garner has judged lots over the years, including 4-H, national and international shows. Let's give a warm welcome to our Judge Garner Diebold today. Like I said, this is our third year running this show. We've kind of fine-tuned it now to, I think we have all the kinks figured out now. So I'd like to thank Matthew Zwombeg, our Excel protege here, and obviously Laura helping out here as well. So thank you. So as our Judge Garner Diebold looks over the confirmation of this heifer calf split, I'll introduce you to our EPD judge, Joe Epperly. The EPDs were sent to him here prior this week, and Judge used a few criteria within our EPD profiles of these females of calving ease direct, yearling weight, and stability and docility EPD. So he used those and gained a percentage of mark and placed those females in each division, heifer and yearling, and then he sent those results to us. So with the placings here in each division, we'll then use our handy dandy Excel sheet, come out with a percentage, and that will give us our top females, as we will actually, this year we're paying out top 5 here this year. First will be $500, second will be $400, third will be $300, second will be $200, and fifth will be $100. Obviously with this 100K jackpot, it's a genotype, phenotype judging class, and obviously with our genotype we have to do a big thank you to our Neogen for sponsoring this event. They did all the DNA testing on all the females this year for nothing. So a big thank you to Neogen Canada for supporting us in this adventure we've kind of started to now roll along with, and it seems to be a very high priority here at each junior show every year. Photographer for the CJLA Impact 2025 show, Jill Renton with Gone West Media. Thank you very much, Jill, for joining us here this week and capturing all the cool moments with these juniors. And also like to thank the DLMS team, Mark Scholigan and Keegan Blem, for joining us and broadcasting this event for those that can't be with us. So thank you to them as well. Here's Judge Garner with his comments on this class.
Very good. Well, good afternoon, everyone. First off, I'd just like to thank the Limousin Youth Organization here for having me go through do the judging here for your Jackpot show this afternoon. Having a show like this where it incorporates some of the data, some of the numbers, I think is so important. It's something that everyone, every breeder can learn something from it. First and foremost, though, having doing the conformation judging, phenotype on these animals, that's something that I always place a lot of emphasis on. It's something that we do use data in our program extensively, but we definitely always have to have the basics correct, making sure that all of our females, bulls, that they are structurally sound, and as I said, the basic things like hoof structure, size, shape, the leg set, all of the things that make for a sound functional animal are so important, and again, something that you can only do by a visual appraisal. Start off this strong class of heifer calves here, the black heifer in first place. She is the heifer for me that is most complete, structurally very sound, good footed, gets out and moves very well, again has good muscle expression. Again, type-wise really exhibits a lot of the things that I would look for in a female at this age. Again, these heifer calves will change a lot as as they mature, but at this point in time, she comes to the top in this class. She places ahead of the heifer in second place, just having a little bit more depth to her, a little bit more rib cage, a little bit more springer rib, nice hip on her, and as I said, just travels very well and is all around very sound. Second place heifer calf, beautiful muscle expression, again has that length and beautiful neck extension, again very good footed, all around travels well, and follows in behind that first place heifer very nicely. Third place heifer, bigger framed heifer calf in here, lots of muscle expression in her. Again, just lots of length. You have to admire her for her size and performance for her age. Again, I would, there's a few small things that at this point in time really it would be insignificant, but it would change some things, maybe just with the positioning of her front feet, maybe a little bit narrow on the way she stands up. But again, just a real powerful heifer, and I think one that'll go on to be a really good breeding female and one to keep an eye on. Moving down into fourth place, another really well-balanced heifer calf that's in fourth place here. Just maybe doesn't carry the I guess the capacity, and I would just like to see a little bit more of a robust look to her, a little bit more spring of rib, and just gives up a little bit to the heifers above her, but a really good sound solid heifer. And again, at this stage in age, they're going to change a lot, and even by agribition time, I mean, these heifer calves will look totally different than they do today. The heifer that I have down here in fifth hole, a very good heifer, lots of muscle in this calf. Again, just it gives up a little bit of that overall style and type, I guess, to the ones above her, but very good, very well made. Again, just the spread between first and fifth in this class is very tight, and we've got just an excellent class here to start this jackpot with.
Thank you, Garner, for your comments here. So that is our confirmation placings, as you see there. First, we'll have Madison Robertson. Second is Abby Staples. Third is Laura Seward. Fourth is Haley Debenham. And fifth is Sawyer Bellinger. With calculations, moving on to the championship drive will be Laura Seward and Madison Robertson. These two females with the 50% EPT score and Garner's score, these two females will join us in the championship drive for 100K jackpot. All right, rolling into heifer calf split 2. We have entry 143, Cody Staples with BLCC N4 Crybaby. Our second entry is entry 100, Josie Boulanger with BLCC N133 Sequoia. Entry number 103, Mila Carnes with SGL New Era 35N. And rounding out the class is entry 4, 136 with Adam Post with DBCC Naya 24N. So these heifer calves range in birth date from January 18th to February 16th.
We'd like to make a special mention of the calf being shown by Adam Post in this class, DBCC NIA 24N. And a big thank you to Double B Cattle Co. This is the donation female that you're all buying tickets on. Half the proceeds are going to go to the Youth Development Fund, and the other half of the proceeds are going to go to Do More Egg Foundation. If you're interested in tickets on her, they're $20 per bid. You can see a CGLA board member. We'd like to thank Double B again for this very generous donation for our juniors.
Judge Garner with his comments.
Thank you, Ashton. So I'll start off this split here with the youngest calf in this class. Very well balanced heifer. Again, you know, right now when I look at it, for sure. Second place heifer, good heifer, nice hip, nice quarter on this calf here. I'd maybe just like to bring the tail head down a little bit and maybe square her up a little bit up front. Maybe put a little bit more depth to her, but again, just very complete. And at this age, you know, she's very sound. Again, a heifer that, you know, give her a few more months here, she will easily, you know, compete with any class out there. The heifer in fourth place just gives up a little bit of that growth, a little bit of that performance. Again, let's give her some time. Again, all around, very solid type of a heifer, and time will tell here, but she probably, as a yearling heifer, will come back here and be very competitive.
Thank you, Judge Garner. So with our confirmation here, we have first entry 136, Adam Post with DBCC NIA 24N. Second, we have Cody Staples with BLCC N4 Crybaby. And third, we have Mila Cairns with SGL New Era 35N. And in fourth, we have entry 100, Josie Bellinger, BLCC N133 Sequoia. So moving on to the championship drive, we'll actually have 136, Adam Post with DBCC NIA 24N. And entry 143, Cody Staples with BLCC N4 Crybaby. Those two will join us in the championship drive. that concludes the heifer calves, and now moving into the the yearling heifer split one. So first in the ring is entry 111 Vander Dick with Greenwood Alley 701 MET. Second in the ring 109 entry 109 Vivian De La Cruz with Opal Moonstone. Entry 126 Emily Lawrence with 777 Mockingjay 1M. Entry 125 Whitney LeBuke with RPY Paynes Madeline 9M. 97 Roland Boulanger with BLCC M360 Pillow Talk. And rounding out the class with entry 144 Sam Stewart with Hillview Morning Glory 406M. Your class is complete. So just some more backstory on the 100K Jackpot show. So Garner Diebold is here today, and he's doing the confirmation of these females. So with that, placings, we'll use 50% of that and the score, and we'll use that with the EPD scores that we have done prior from Judge Joe Epperly, and that combination will give us a certain percent that moves our females into the championship drive. And those females there in the championship drive will then be yet again judged again, and with their EPD scoring we'll be placing the top 5. So this class of yearling heifers we have from January 1st, 2024 to January 7th of 2024.
Take me over to the north side so I can find my way. Lord knows I've walked the south street, wasted hearts and days. So take it all, take everything from me and bring it on.
Again, a big thank you to our sponsor here in the 100K Jackpot show with Neogen Canada. They kindly sponsored and donated all the DNA testing for these females. A big thank you to those, as they've now kind of been the forefront from this for the sponsorship for this event the last 3 years. So a big thank you to Neogen Canada. Like to thank all those for coming today, braving a little bit of the cold weather. Thankfully the rain is holding off for now, but thank you for all coming and taking this all in as these young juniors. There's 54 of them this year here in Saskatchewan, and from 5 different provinces, from all the way from British Columbia to Ontario. So thank you for taking the time to watch what these young kids put some hard hours in the barn and doing what they love and joining us here in Saskatchewan. So after the 100K jackpot show concludes, we're going to have the first annual Limousin steak competition. We'd like to give a big thank you to Matthew Heleniak and Norpac Beef for sponsoring this event. We'll have 11 teams of these juniors of 4 compete cooking and seeing how they compete with their own steak cooking, and they're being judged on 4 categories. Obviously the steak, the side dish, creativity, and teamwork. These juniors will have 30 minutes, and this is just for fun, just for something for the juniors to let loose and interact a little bit more. So we're gonna spice things up here too. Actually, we're gonna do a fan vote for best steak. So if you do want to taste some delicious steak, please come over to the Palliser and join us, and we'll have some steak there for you, and you can enjoy the friendly competition there at 4 o'clock. Judge Garner with his comments.
Thank you. Very interesting class here to start off the yearling section. A few differences in type for sure, a few differences in their physical makeup. I started off this class with the red heifer in first place, just such a free, easy moving heifer. Again, lots of balance to her, good muscle expression, you know, just very complete, a very sound type of a heifer, and so she came to the top here today. Second place, just love the muscle shape in the second place heifer. Again, follows in behind the first one. I think I just would, you know, change a few things about her. She's a little bit tighter than the first place heifer. Again, but you have to admire her for the amount of the muscle shape in her. Beautiful, strong top. You get in behind her again, and there's just lots of thickness. You know, type of a heifer. I think that's very, very useful. So a good second place heifer here today. Third place, again, type-wise, very similar to the second place heifer. Ton of muscle, ton of shape to her. I would just, if I had to, you know, why she is in third place here, I'd give her a little bit more heel, maybe change a little bit of that foot structure. Again, but just good, solid heifer all around. Good type of a heifer, and a lot to offer. Moving down into fourth place here, a heifer that really I wasn't sure where we would end up with her when she first came in the ring. She's got so much good about her. She travels well, she gets out and walks well. I'd maybe change a little bit on her leg set, and maybe just put a little bit more flank in her, and maybe a little bit deeper quarter on her. But again, just very useful type of a heifer. Beautiful strong top on her, and again, just a really good solid heifer. Moving down into the fifth place here, just would like to level her top line up a little bit. Again, big soggy heifer. Again, broody type of a heifer, but just doesn't maybe have the style that the heifers above her have. And then moving down into my sixth place heifer, again, she just, you know, gives up a little bit of that scale and style that the other heifers have. Maybe would just clean up her navel a little bit as well, but other than that, again, a good solid heifer. And the difference from top, you know, from first to the sixth place heifer here, very close. Again, just some differences in type, and you know, a few small, probably insignificant structure things here, but that's the way we place them here today, and a good class to start off the yearlings with.
Thank you, Judge Garner. So with our confirmation placings, we have first Vander Dick with Greenwood Alley 701 MET, and second we have Emily Lawrence with 777 Mockingjay 1M. Fifth we have Vivian De La Cruz with Opal Moonstone, and in sixth, rounding out, is Roland Bellinger with BLCC M3660 Pillow Talk. So with those placings in the EPD placings, we'll pull ahead here with Whitney LaBuke, entry 125, RPY Paynes Madeline 9M, and entry 144, Sam Stewart with Hillview Morning Glory 406M. So those two bred heifers will come into the championship drive here in a few minutes. So we'll start here in our yearling heifer split 2. Entry 102, Cole Bodell with GHR Polled Mitchie, I guess Mikey. Entry 146, Garson Zwombag with DBCC Midnight Mess Around 4M. Entry 122, Jocelyn Kennedy with DBCC VLE May West 5MET. Entry 123, Austin Kishkan with Pinnacles Meet Me Halfway 24M. Entry 133, Austin Porter with Plains Matchmaker 38M. And rounding out the class is Miss Cutie, entry 145, Ryland Furbeek with Hillview Mystic 401M. These heifers range in birth date from January 9th to January 20th. As you can see, there's a special happy birthday girl in the ring right now, Jocelyn Kennedy, sporting some fun as the juniors are doing a little fundraiser. I believe it's $100 they've raised for her to wear that little happy birthday hat. She's oh, good night. You look cute. Happy birthday, Jocelyn. And Jocelyn is taking more donations. And if you see the girl in the bright pink here, this is our photographer. Our photographer for the CJLA Impact show here. Big round of applause to Jill Renton with Gone West for joining us this week and capturing these juniors' memories. And it's always fun to see these kids interact. Obviously, we've gained some positive momentum here in the last 3-4 years with these juniors, and they seem to gain some long time relationships and friendships, and it's awesome to see. Garner makes his final placings here in yearling heifer split 2. Just kind of a breakdown again for those that Judge Garner Diebold here today is judging strictly on conformation. He's looking at these heifers for how they're built and structurally, and we'll use 50% of his placings. And we've had prior here, our EPD judge, Joe Epperly, has judged these females on 4 EPDs: calving ease direct, yearling weight, stayability, and docility. So he gained a percentage with his EPD scores, and with 50% of that, we'll use that combination with the conformation, and we'll have our total scores, not what gets these females into the championship drive. Judge Garner with his comments.
Thank you. Well presented class here in the second split of yearlings. Start off this class here with a moderate framed heifer, very complete, just really well balanced heifer, travels really good, nice and square on her feet and legs, gets out and walks, covers her tracks nicely. Again, just very overall sound heifer that has some eye appeal to her, some thickness, and again, just a lot of style and class to her. So I think in my mind she came to the top fairly easy. For some she may be a little bit too moderate in size, but again, I think in this group here she just has everything put together, and as I said, very complete all around. Second place heifer, you just have to admire this heifer for the volume in this heifer. Just the depth that she has, and again, a couple of frame sizes bigger than the first place heifer, but just lots of volume, very correct for a big heifer, travels well, made nicely, good strong top, you get in behind her, and lots of thickness to her. And so again, I think the type of a female that'll just make a big broody cow and should be very productive. Third place, here again too, she just gives up a little bit of that performance to the heifer above her, but again, made very well, nice balance to her, real feminine front-ended, nice flat shoulder on her. Again, a lot of things that I like about her. Just gives up a little bit of that overall depth and just overall performance I think that the heifer in second place has, but again, all around very solid heifer. Moving down into fourth place, a heifer that follows in nicely. Third and fourth, type-wise very similar. Lots of good to offer about her. Travels well, is very sound. Just gives up a little bit of that either style or performance to the heifers in first and second place. Then moving down into fifth and sixth, we've got a couple of heifers that are very structurally sound. Again, have everything working the way it should be, and the type of heifers I think that will really go on to be good females. Again, right now they just give up a little bit of that depth, a little bit of that performance, a little bit of the muscle that the heifers above them have. But again, all overall, just a couple of heifers that have a lot to offer the industry, I think, and they'll be ones to keep an eye on. And again, a very good, well-presented class of yearlings here.
Thank you, Judge Garner. So in confirmation, we have first entry 102 Cole Bodell with GRH Pulled Mitchie. Entry 133 coming in second, Austin Porter with Plains Matchmaker 38M. And in third, Jocelyn Kennedy with DBCC VLE May West 5MET. And in fourth, Austin Kishkan with Pinnacles Meet Me Halfway 24M. Fifth, Rylan Forbeek with Hillview Mystic 401M. And sixth, entry 146 Carson Swanbag with DBCC Midnight Mess Around 4M. So with the confirmation in the EPD score, going on to the championship drive, we'll have entry 123 Austin Kishkan, Pinnacles Meet Me Halfway 24M, and Austin Porter, entry 133 with Plains Matchmaker 38M. So here we have the yearling heifer split 3, entry 141, Lillian Saward with Amaglen Miss Molly. Entry 124, Andy Kishkan with RG's Make It Tender 6M. Entry 147, Lucas Wambag with SGL Miami 4M. Entry 140, Laura Seward with Amaglan Moonbeam. Entry 110. Supposed to be entry 110, Leah Post with EMF Monroe 407M. And lastly, entry 113, Sadie Eklund with SGL Mayflower 10M. So our confirmation judge here today is Garner Diebold. Garner has a background rooting in ranching, bovine genetics, and animal health pharmaceuticals. Him and his family are 4th and 5th generation ranchers in the Hodgeville Shamrock area in southwestern Saskatchewan, raising both seed stock, commercial cattle, and quarter horses. Garner is the Bovagen Genetic Services Marketing Manager, and prior to his role at Bovagen, he spent time with Boehringer Animal Health as a bovine and equine territory manager. Garner and his family have their own genetics export company promoting Canadian genetics, live cattle, semen, and embryos globally. Hawkeye Land and Livestock has provided management and production consulting services in many countries, and Garner has been active with many industry organizations. Currently, Garner sits on the Canadian Cattle Association Board of Directors and is the immediate past president of the Saskatchewan Stock Growers Association. Garner has judged lots over the years, including 4-H and national and international shows. So let's give a warm welcome to our confirmation judge, Garner Diebold. those that couldn't be here today, I want to give a big shout out to the DLMS team here with Mark Sholigan, and here today is Keegan Blen, broadcasting this show for us, for those that can't be here. A big shout out to them and showcasing these junior exhibitors and what their year projects were all year. Nice to see. And also with the DLMS broadcast, we want to give a big thank you to Venture Livestock, as they sponsored the DLMS broadcast. So thank you, Wayne and Ann, for doing that for our CJL Impact 2025 show as well. So as has been saying, with Garner Diebold here today judging confirmation, our EPD judge, Joe Epperly, he's judged the EPD profiles on these females prior this week. And Joe Epperly, he grew up on a diversified livestock operation in Central Virginia, comprised mainly of registered Angus seed stock, along with commercial cattle, quarter horses, sheep, and goats. Joe spent much of his youth heavily involved in the family livestock market, as well as 4-H, FFA, and the National Junior Angus Association. Director of Breeding and Genetics for the Next Gen Cattle Co. in Paxico, Kansas. Joe has worked for the North American Limousin Foundation for 7 years. First as the Director of Commercial Marketing before becoming the Assistant Executive Director. Most recently, he spent the last 6 years as Director of Genetics and Sale for Wagenhammer Ranches in Nebraska, working with their Angus, Charolais, and Simmental programs. He has served 10 years on the board of the Beef Improvement Federation, including a presidential term in 2023, and also serves on the Breed Improvement Committee for the American International Charolais Association. Judge Garner with his comments.
Thank you. A more difficult class for me here. Definitely could switch things up a little bit. There are some differences in traits and characteristics here between the heifers. Again, good solid class here, top to bottom. Started out the class with the red heifer here in first place. What I like about her, nice beautiful neck extension, real feminine look to her, but yet still lots of volume and everything else I like about her. She's physically very sound, travels well, walks well, good hoof structure, and I think right now for at this stage in her life, she's pretty darn good all around, and a heifer that you could breed many different ways, I think. And so she came to the top for me here today. Heifer in second place here, like a lot about her. You got to admire her for her depth and lots of muscle expression in her. I'd maybe, in what I liked about the first place heifer was that neck extension and just being a little bit cleaner than the heifer in second place up front. But again, just a heifer with a lot of volume. She's in a bit of a compact package here. But again, just really sound all around, travels well for a heifer built like her with the amount of muscle in her, and so she comes up in second hole for me. Moving down into third place, again a good solid heifer here that's structurally sound, walks well, good footed, just gives up a little bit of that width, a little bit overall dimension to the heifers in first and second, but again all around good heifer. As is the fourth place heifer. Third and fourth, very similar. Again, on any given day, you could flip them around and easily, come up with good reasoning for doing that. And so there's two heifers in third and fourth here that are very much alike, and again, good solid females. Moving down in class here, we just have some heifers that give up a little bit of that style and maybe overall muscle and thickness that we need in some of these heifers in first, second, third place. But again, these will be the ones that will prove me wrong down the road, and again, set up really nice type of heifers that'll going to go on to be good productive cows for sure.
Thank you, Judge Garner. So our confirmation placings here: first, entry 141, Lillian Seward with Ama Glen Miss Molly. Second, entry 124, Andy Kishkan with RG's Make It Tender 6M. Third, entry 110, Leah Post with EMF Monroe 407M. And then fourth, entry 146, Lucas Wambag with SGL Miami 4M. Fifth, entry 113, Sadie Eklund with SGL Mayflower 10M. And then sixth, entry 140, Laura Seward with Amaglen Moonbeam. And so moving on to the championship drive, we'll actually stay 1 and 2. Entry 141, Lillian Seward with Amaglen Miss Molly. And entry 124, Andy Kishkan with RG's Make It Tender 6M. So our last yearling heifer split today is entering the ring. Entry 135, Kaylee Post with KX Axley Mayflower 86M. Entry 148, Owens Wombag with DBCC VLE Morning Mist 32M. Entry 129, Caden Martin with Lazy A My Kind of Trouble. Entry 101, Rachel Black with Loyal Line Mockingjay. Entry 137, Ruben Post with K. Axley Montana 104M. Entry 98, Rosemary Belanger, BLCC M21, She's the One. And rounding off the class is entry 105, Clara Carey with BLCC M60, Miss 6. These heifers range in birth date from February 19th to September 20th. So quite a wide range of females here. Garner? So those juniors that were placed in the top 2 of their division, can you please gather in the marshalling area as this class concludes? We'll be bringing in our top 2 from each split for championship drive. Thank you to our 2 ringmen for this afternoon, Kyle Payne and Naomi Best. And a big thank you to our XL protege, Matthew Zwombag, for making sure all the calculations are right. So with the conclusion of the 100K Jackpot show here in a little bit, we'll be doing the first annual Limousin Impact Steak Competition in the Palliser building. There's going to be 11 teams of 4 juniors. We're going to see what they're made of in the kitchen. They've going to do some steak spices and make a barbecue a steak, and then have a side dish, and we'll have 3 judges judge them on the steak and the side dish, the creativity and the teamwork. They'll have 30 minutes, and this steak competition is just for friendly competition. It doesn't have anything to do with the aggregate points moving forward. We've pulled in some volunteers to fill their bellies with good old Limousin steak, and we want to do a big shout out to Matthew Heleniak with Norpac Beef that sponsored that event and sent the steaks from Ontario out west here. So a big thank you to Matthew for doing that for these juniors. We haven't, a part of being on part of the Saskatchewan Limousin Association. We haven't held this event since 2019, as the last time it was in Saskatoon. So a big shout out to our committee in organizing this event, and it's been a great time here in Swift Current, great facility and whatnot. And again, I just want to give a big shout out to all these juniors and the parents mostly. We had a couple families travel all the way from Ontario, and one individual, Ben Belanger, had a 30-foot stock trailer, left on July 31st and was here to join us. And obviously the Kishkan family, they came all the way from Quesnel, BC to join us here. So obviously these families traveling a long ways just to be part of this show means a lot. So again, thank you again to all you juniors and parents for taking time to make memories with these young kids. It's awesome to see. thank you again goes to Neogen Canada. They've sponsored all the DNA testing for these females that have been entered into this jackpot. Obviously, they've been the big forefront of this event and helping us make this event what it is here in the last 3 years. Here's Judge Garner with his comments.
Thank you, Ashton. Well, this was an interesting class, to say the least. Lots of different things to consider, I guess, with the age spread. You know, the youngest calf in class here is at quite a disadvantage. I'll actually talk about the fourth place heifer to start with. There really isn't much that you would change about this heifer. She's solid all around, really, you know, I guess made well. If anything, maybe just make her a little bit cleaner up front, but again, just overall, what a solid heifer calf here. The age difference right now is a disadvantage for her. Probably I've discounted her more than I should have, but again, speculating at this point in time, it's a lot easier when you've got a known commodity, or you know, the ones that are older in class here, they are further along and developed or growing out more, and you know what you have in front of you. Especially here with these heifers already, you need to take into consideration some of the teat and udder development, where they're at, what they look like already, how the placement is, and those types of things. So again, the young heifer in class here, I just love the heck out of her, and just a good solid heifer here all around. Started this class off with a heifer again that I felt anyway that had the balance that I like to see in him. Structurally sound, good hoof shape, size. Overall, you know, not extreme in any way, and so a heifer that just has a lot of good about her, and again, you know, in my mind, and you know, you evaluate her, there isn't a whole bunch that you would do different with her. Second place heifer was the one heifer in here. I mean, she's just big, robust, lots of middle, lots of barrel in this heifer, just a big soggy brood cow type of a heifer at this age and stage, and you know, maybe at this point in time she doesn't have some of the class or eye appeal that some of the other heifers may have, but man, as she you know, just I love the volume that's in her, the muscle, starting out a good udder, you know, everything about her is you know, shows that she's going to make a good brood cow, I think. Third place heifer, a very attractive heifer, gives up some size to the second place heifer, but again, made very well, very feminine, nice and clean up front. I'd maybe strengthen hoof shape a little bit, change some of that, but overall just very stylish, attractive, good, strong topped heifer that has a lot to offer. And again, the 4th place heifer then, follows in nicely behind, and any given day that 4th place heifer could stand much higher for sure. Moving down in class here, 5, 6, 7, we just have some heifers here that do give up some of that overall volume, some of that muscle that we like to see in these heifers at this age already, and again, but just good solid heifers all along. A difficult class to judge, I think, but in the end, I'm sure happy with what the placings that I've got them in here now. I can easily justify where they're at, and again, compliments to everybody for bringing them out, especially those younger ones. Thank you.
Thanks, Judge Garner. So in our confirmation class, first is entry 137, Ruben Post with K. Axley, Montana 104M. In second, we have entry 129, Caden Martin with Lazy A, My Kind of Trouble. And third, entry 135, Kaylee Post with K. Axley, Mayflower 86M. And in fourth, entry 105, Clara Carey with BLCC M60 Miss 6. And in fifth, we have Owen Zwombag, entry 148 with DBCC VLE Morning Miss 32M. Entry 101 comes in sixth, Rachel Black with Loyal Line Mockingjay. And in seventh, entry 98, Rosemary Blanger, BLCC M21, She's the One. So moving on to the championship drive, it's going to be entry 129, Caden Martin with Lazy A, My Kind of Trouble. And entry 105, Clara Carey with BLCC M60 Miss 6. Alrighty, we're ready to get into the grand drive here of the 100K Jackpot Show. So from our first split in heifer calves, we have entry 140, Laura Seward with Amaglen Nellie Joe. Our entry 139, Madison Robertson with EMF HR Naomi 503N. Coming from our heifer split 2, entry 143, Cody Staples with BLCC N4 Crybaby. And entry 136, Adam Post with DBCC Naya 24N. Now in our first yearling heifer split, we have entry 125, Whitney LaBuke, RPY Paynes Madeline 9M. And entry 144, Sam Stewart with Hillview Morning Glory 406M. In our yearling heifer split 2, we have entry 123, Austin Kishkan with Pinnacles Meet Me Halfway 24M. And entry 133, Austin Porter with Plains Matchmaker 38M. Our yearling heifer split 3 is led by entry 141, Lillian Seward with Amaglen Miss Molly. And entry 124, Andy Kishkan with RG's Make It Tender 6M. And lastly, our yearling heifer split 4 is led by entry 129, Caden Martin with Lazy A My Kind of Trouble. And rounding out the championship drive is entry 105, Clara Carey with BLCC M60 Miss 6. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your 100K Jackpot Championship drive for you this afternoon. So just some explanation here. Our confirmation judge, Garner Diebold, is going to judge these females 1 to 12. From that score, and we'll use their EPD scoring that Judge Epperly did here earlier on this week, and then we'll just pull our top 5 from that, and we'll let the other ones exit the ring, and from our top 5 we will go from 5th all the way to our grand champion 100K Jackpot female. Let's give a big round of applause here for our juniors and these excellent females they're exhibiting here this afternoon. It's awesome to see, these females here exhibiting and what these juniors, hard work in the barns and the many hours they've done here in the spring and over the winter and honestly over the last year and a half. So, job well done to all you juniors. Garner's making his final placings here from 1 to 12. Again, today I want to give a big shout out to Neogen Canada, DLMS, and Venture Livestock for sponsoring this event today and helping us. Obviously, those that can't be in person here get to watch these this 100K Jackpot show. Today, Grand Champion, I want to give a big thank you to our banner sponsor, Pinnacle View Limousin, and our Reserve Grand Champion banner sponsored by Shortgrass Limousin. Today will be top 5 will be placed. First will be getting a Grand Champion banner and $500. Second here, Reserve banner and $400. Third will be getting $300. Fourth will be getting $200, and fifth will be getting $100 today. So. So for all those that are here, just like to invite you again over to the Limousin State Competition that will be happening in the Palliser building after the conclusion of this show. There'll be 11 teams of 4. These young juniors got some main dishes and some their specialty steak spices, and they're going to be barbecuing some steaks and doing a friendly competition with our 3 judges. Then we're going to actually have a nice volunteers. Volunteers are going to be handing out some extra steaks, and we're going to do a fan vote. So something for everyone to partake in that and get to taste some Limousin beef. And I want to do a big thank you to Matthew Heleniak of Norpac Beef, who generously sponsored the whole event for these juniors. And Matthew has done an awesome job for our breed and our association in helping us, as he has also contributed to the Medicine Hat Pen Show, where the association goes and we do a state competition there as well. So a big shout out to Matthew Heleniak with Norpac Beef for all his sponsorship and his contributions. When I asked Garner to come judge the 100K Jackpot, I only told him there was 35 females, but I didn't tell him how good they were going to be. So he's got his hands full here, going 1 to 12. So let's give a big thank you again to Garner Diebold for joining us today. It's awesome to see these elite females and these juniors in this competition. Some of you may not know, but myself, Ashton, enjoys a really corny dad joke. Yeah, I apologize. Surprised nobody asked me. But just to keep things light, like I always like to do, we always have fun with these juniors. I remember the first time I participated with these members was at Old Synergy, when we jumped on the bus and took the tour bus down to Highland Stock Farms, and Ashton perhaps maybe didn't keep the dad jokes PG rated, but I will do that today for you, I promise. What do sharks eat for dinner? Fish and chips? Tough crowd today. I better go a little deep here. Just give me a shake.
Hey guys, this is Nolan from Bragg Creek here. I got a couple on the line for you. All right, so it's a simple question. What's not as heavy as blue? Nobody's gonna answer? Okay, it's light blue. All right, the next one is how many apples grow on a tree? All of them. Thank you.
We got a tough crowd here, Noah. I'm sorry about that. Why do crabs never volunteer? Because they're shellfish. Erin, she's my #1 fan over there. Just all seriousness here. Garner is placing
Johnny went out walking, he hitched for a ride. He came across a pretty girl who took him inside. And Johnny asked the pretty girl if he could take her hand. She became his wife and they bought a piece of land. Well, they raised up a family and they raised up the wood. They built their first cottage and it held like it should. Johnny told the pretty girl, darling, I love you so. She looked back at Johnny and said, Johnny, boy, I know, I know. And we all shine a light, darling. We all want someone. We're all afraid of tomorrow, just a little. We all dance around the sun till it's done. You're the one. Johnny went out one day with a shotgun by his side. His family they didn't trust him to keep them all alive. He stumbled upon a black bear who knocked down his gun. Johnny couldn't reach it, so he fixed up to run. The bear caught up to Johnny and knocked him to the ground. Johnny thought it was a little girl, Lord, he beat that bear down. The moral of the story: if there's a woman by your side, there's nothing that a man won't do just to stay alive, stay alive. And we all shine a light, darling.
so Garner here is making his placings, confirmation placings from 1 to 12. So as Garner has his 1 to 12 placings here for confirmation, we will then tabulate the scores from that with their EPD scores, so 50-50 from each, and then we'll be placing them 5th to 1st. And here's Judge Garner with his final comments.
Well, thank you, Ashton. First off, I would just like to commend each one of these juniors for the job that they've done. This would be one of the more difficult assignments I've had, I guess, as far as judging goes. Heck of a set of heifers out here. Fantastic group. You know, they are all worthy to be here. They're all useful heifers. And again, I know that there definitely will be some differences in them. But again, you know, I guess it was my job today to place them the way I saw them. Coming down to this last class here, where you have to place 12 of them, definitely isn't easy. Again, what I started out, I won't talk on each one individually. I did that through the splits, and you know, so what I came up with on top, I like them for the combination of traits and characteristics that they exhibit. The soundness, you know, they're all functional females. As we work down here, some of them give up a little bit of that performance and or some structural things that you'd maybe want to touch up a little bit. But again, they are all, you know, very good heifers, and I think they'll all go on to perform well, produce well. And you know, what I admire so much about the Limousin cattle is the amount of muscle in them. You know, they're high yielding cattle, and you know, that's what they can contribute to the beef industry. You know, just the pounds of saleable beef that they can produce, and I think these heifers are you know, fit that mold, and definitely you can take them home, breed them different ways, but I guess that's the challenge for all of us as individual breeders or producers, that we have to figure out what that genetic combination is to further, you know, advance and you know, advance genetics to make them even better yet. So again, let's give a round of applause to the juniors, not only the ones in the ring, but to everybody that participated here today. I mean, that was a heck of a show. I would just like to thank the Junior Association here for asking me to come and judge. I enjoyed it very much, and you know, it's an excellent job. And what I also like with this show here is you know, when you combine the numbers, it gives us all food for thought, that we, you know, use those tools that are available to us, you know, take those home, you know, find those females that you know, are structurally sound, everything is correct about them, but also incorporate all of that data that you have. And you know, the importance of data and collecting that is you know, makes us better breeders, and you know, use them as a tool the way they're supposed to be, and it'll just improve what our production model is. We become more efficient, we become better at what we do, and you know, a show like this definitely highlights the usefulness of you know, the phenotype, you know, doing the visual appraisal, but then also incorporating all of those numbers into what we do here as well. So again, credit to the Limousin Association, to the juniors, for having a show like this, and again, thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of it.
Awesome. Let's give a big round of applause to Garner Diebold here, our confirmation judge for today. So no specific order. Our top 5. Dun 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 dun. Entry 129, Caden Martin, Lazy A, My Kind of Trouble. Entry 105, Clara Carey with BLCC M60 Miss 6. Entry 140, Laura Seward with Amaglen Moonbeam. Entry 133, Austin Porter with Plains Matchmaker 38M. And lastly, but not least, entry 141, Lillian Seward with Amaglen Miss Molly. So now with these top 5, we'll have Garner come and slap our grand champion female. He will then make his way to reserve and then third, fourth, and fifth. So today, grand champion overall has a banner sponsored by Pinnacle View Limousin and $500 cash, and reserve gets a banner from sponsored by Shortgrass Limousin and $400 cash, and then third will be $300 cash, fourth will be $200 cash, and fifth will be $100 cash. So let's give a big round of applause to all these juniors. Their arms are getting heavy and they're going to eat some steak later, so get excited. Grand, yeah. Already, Garner's going to go slap his grand champion 100K Jackpot female. And our grand champion, 100K Jackpot female, is entry 133, Austin Porter with Plains Matchmaker 38M. Now Garner will slap our reserve. And our reserve 100K Jackpot is birthday boy Caden Martin. Entry 129 with Lazy A, My Kind of Trouble. Now Garner will place our third, fourth, and fifth females here. Third place now will be entry 105, Clara Carey with BLCC M60 Miss 6. And fourth, the Sister Battle, entry 141, Lillian Seward with Amaglen Miss Molly. And fifth is Laura Seward with Amaglen Moonbeam. Congratulations to all exhibitors. And let's give a big round of applause again to Garner Diebold. Job well done here today for us. Can I have a representative from Pinnacle View Limousin and also Shortgrass Limousin? We'd like to get some pictures of these young juniors and just a schedule update for all you. We're going to be cooking at 4:30 in the Palliser building. So we'll give you an extra half an hour to gather all your supplies and whatnot, and to for all those to gather in the Palliser and take the event in. So again, thank you to all those that attended, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow at the show at 9 o'clock.